My husband, Damien, loved me deeply, so deeply it felt like I was his whole world. Everyone said he was the perfect husband. Yet, he betrayed me. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. The first time was 3 years ago. His closest friend, Aaron, died saving him. Damien kept it from me and secretly married Aaron's girlfriend, Vivian, on paper. I was heartbroken and ready to leave him. That night, he sent her abroad and fell to his knees, begging me. Estelle, Aaron gave his life for me. I must take care of his widow. That marriage certificate is just a promise of security for Vivian. Once I've avenged Aaron, I'll divorce her. The only woman I love is you. I forgave him. The second time came the following year. At a press conference, Damien publicly introduced Vivian as the mafia leader's wife. He pulled me aside to explain. Vivian is the only daughter of the Young family, the mafia. Our 2 families joined forces for one reason only, to get revenge for Aaron. I've already made arrangements with her. Once we've dealt with our enemies, I'll divorce her and marry you right away. Once again, I believed him. Then came the third time. Someone drugged Damien at a banquet, and he spent the night with Vivian. He hid it from me until just 2 weeks ago, when I caught him at the hospital, sitting beside her during a prenatal checkup. That was when I finally learned the truth. He lowered his head, unable to meet my eyes, and spoke in a low voice. Estelle, it was an accident. Once she gives birth, I'll send her away. My parents will raise the child, and I swear, neither of them will ever appear in your life again. In the name of love, Damien pushed me to compromise again and again. Yet now I know, there's no future left for us. It's time for me to walk away. Damien, a startled cry rang out behind me. Vivian clutched her belly, her face contorted in pain. Damien froze. Then, without hesitation, he pushed me aside and rushed to scoop her into his arms. Caught off guard, I stumbled, slamming my shoulder into the wall. The jolt of pain brought tears to my eyes. As he gently soothed Vivian, Damien glanced back at me, his expression tense. Estelle, Vivian's condition is serious. I need to get her to the doctor. Please head home first. I'll explain everything later. Without another word, he carried her into the infirmary, shouting for a doctor as he ran. I leaned against the wall, tears spilling down my cheeks. A life-saving debt. Her status as his publicly acknowledged wife. And now, the child growing inside her. Damien, you were never going to let Vivian go. How could there possibly be a future for us? I dragged myself out of the hospital, got into the car, and slumped weakly into the seat. The driver asked cautiously, "Madam, should I take you back to the villa?" I leaned back, completely drained. No. Take me to the immigration office first. 2 hours later, I had my passport and submitted a visa application for Equinox. The visa will take 7 days to process. You can collect it in a week, the clerk said. 7 days, I murmured. I'll cut all ties with Damien in 7 days. When I returned to the villa, I began packing. There were so many things. Too many. Damien traveled often for work, and wherever he went, he brought back gifts, handbags, jewelry, luxury items. 3 entire rooms were filled with the things he'd given me. Every corner of this house held memories of us. An entire wall was covered with photo booth pictures we took each month. On every anniversary, he gave me a diamond ring. Now, 3 drawers overflowed with jewelry boxes, limited edition dolls, rare collectibles. Every item a testament to his love. Before Vivian came along, I truly believed we would grow old together. I wiped my tears, then started tearing down the photos one by one, throwing them into the trash. I boxed up all his gifts and set them aside. I would return everything to him before I left. Just as I was sorting my things, I heard a commotion downstairs. I stepped out into the hallway and looked down over the railing. The servants were carrying in large boxes of jewelry and luxury goods. Vivian stood in the living room, gently shaking her head. This is too much. I only mentioned I liked them, and you nearly bought out the entire auction house. Damien looked down at her, smiling tenderly. If it makes you happy, that's all that matters. A good mood will make your delivery easier. Then he looked up and spotted me. His expression froze. Estelle, I'm sorry. Vivian was upset after her appointment, so I took her to the auction to lift her spirits. If there's anything you want, I'll take you shopping next time. I was quiet for a moment before answering softly. You've already given me more than enough. Just focus on buying things for Vivian. He opened his mouth as if to say something, but Vivian tugged his hand and rubbed her eyes. I'm so sleepy. I think the baby wants to rest. Can you help me to the bedroom? A flicker of concern crossed his face as he quickly supported her. Walk slowly. Don't trip. Why didn't you tell me earlier you were tired? What if you fall asleep and hurt yourself? He did not spare me another glance as he guided Vivian toward the master bedroom. A sharp pain pierced my chest. That bedroom had once been meant for me and Damien. He poured his heart into designing it and told me with solemn tenderness, no one else can step foot in here. I want to keep it a secret until our wedding day, when I'll personally take your hand and bring you into this room. In the end, the room he created for me already belonged to her. I returned to my bedroom feeling hollow and defeated. It was nothing more than a cramped space at the end of the second floor, right next to Damien's. I could still hear his voice in my head. The size of the room doesn't matter. What matters is that you're close to me. This is just temporary. Once I finish renovating the wedding room, we'll get married. 8 years had passed, and now the wedding room he'd once prepared so carefully no longer belonged to me. I opened my suitcase, ready to pack my clothes, when the door suddenly burst open with a loud crash. Vivian strutted in, her belly prominent, chin lifted as she scanned the room with disdain. So this is your bedroom? It's even smaller than the bathroom in my suite. How pathetic. You've clung to my husband for 8 years and still have no title. He even gave me the wedding room he promised you. What are you still hanging around for? Don't you feel ashamed? Her voice dripped with mockery and triumph. I shut the suitcase with a hard snap. My tone was ice cold. You're not welcome here. Get out. Vivian raised a brow, her voice laced with scorn. Did you forget? I'm the mistress of this villa now. Who are you to tell me to leave? Soon, my child will be the heir to the Jones family. You're nothing but a shameless mistress. this. You'll end up with nothing. My fists clenched at my sides, nails digging into my palms. Tears burned behind my eyes. Each word hit like a slap across the face, leaving my cheeks flaming with humiliation. I was about to reply when she suddenly staggered, letting out a sharp cry as she crumpled to the floor, clutching her belly. Help! My baby! Damien came rushing in, panic etched into every line of his face. He swept her into his arms. Vivian wrapped her arms around his neck, sobbing pitifully. I just wanted to talk to Estelle. I must have said something wrong and upset her. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Damien's eyes snapped to me, blazing with fury and bitter disappointment. Estelle, no matter what she said, you shouldn't have touched her. She's pregnant. How could you do this? You used to be kind. What have you become? His words froze my blood. I didn't push her. Damien exploded. Still denying it? You and Vivian were the only ones here. If it wasn't you, who was it? Do you think I'd believe she fell on her own? She treasures that baby more than her own life. I collapsed onto the bed, trembling, lips quivering. So, you don't believe me? How am I supposed to believe you? He yanked me off the bed and gently laid Vivian in my place, immediately pulling out his phone to call the family doctor. You better pray she and the baby are okay. The doctor arrived quickly and examined Vivian thoroughly. The situation isn't too serious. She just needs to stay in bed and rest for a few days. Damien hung on to every word, bombarding the doctor with questions about her diet, recovery, and even light pregnancy exercises. He scribbled everything down in a notebook, desperate not to miss a single detail. When the doctor finally left, Damien personally walked him out of the house. As soon as he was gone, Vivian reclined on the bed, glancing at me where I stood frozen in the corner. With a satisfied smirk, she said, Damien's going to be such a good father, don't you think? Then, almost as if speaking to herself, she added, it was worth drugging him to make him the father of my child. I turned on her in a flash, pointing at her stomach, my voice shaking with rage. What did you just say? Are you telling me that baby isn't even Damien's? That you drugged him? Why, you're insane. How dare you? Vivian clapped a hand over her mouth, realizing she'd let the truth slip, but the smirk returned just as quickly. What difference does it make that you know? Nothing's going to change. Do yourself a favor and walk away. My chest was heaving with rage, and even my finger trembled as I pointed at her. Aren't you afraid I'll tell Damien the truth? Vivian showed no fear. She even smirked, deliberately provoking me. Do you really think he'll believe you? After what just happened, no matter what you say, he'll only think you're trying to frame me. I don't believe that. We've been together 8 years. How could that all be wiped out so easily by your schemes? Oh, really? Then go ahead. Try it. See for yourself whether he believes you, or me. Then she suddenly burst into sobs. Estelle, I didn't even want this baby, but if I abort it, I'll never be able to have children again. Can't you just take pity on me? She struggled as if trying to get out of bed, just as Damien appeared at the doorway. His expression darkened the moment he saw her crying. He rushed in and gathered her into his arms. What are you doing? The doctor said you need bed rest. You can't move around like this. Vivian shook her head. Tears streamed down her face as she looked up at him, pitiful and fragile. Damien, maybe I should just leave. Estelle doesn't want this baby. She said so many cruel things. She even told me to get rid of it. Damien lifted his head. His eyes were full of fury as he turned toward me. Estelle, what are you doing now? I shook my head in panic and pointed at Vivian. Damien, don't believe her. That baby's not even yours. Vivian wailed and lunged toward the wall as if to slam her head against it. Damien, please, just let me die. After being talked to like that, how can I go on? I'm your legal wife, and yet she says those things just to humiliate me. Damien panicked and caught her, holding her tight in his arms. Calm down. I believe you. Please don't get worked up. It's bad for the baby. He comforted her softly, then turned to me with a cold, disappointed gaze. That's enough, Estelle. Stop targeting Vivian. Whatever happened to her, it was my fault. Whether it was the drugging or the pregnancy, it was an accident. After she gives birth, I'll send her and the child away. Then I'll marry you. Vivian's face faltered briefly but quickly recovered into a sorrowful expression.